You're doing well. Hope you're doing fine. Hope you're doing good. You know what I'm saying? The boy is up. My levels are right. Retreat, public surrender retreat. That's what we're going for. Check me out in a second.
Have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were robbed of our name, robbed of our language. We lost our religion, our culture, our God. And many of us, by the way we act, even lost our mind.
Welcome to the Sunspot. Speakers bump a whole lot. Omega Sun's light, turn the fire when it gets hot. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Wealth Chamber, future vibes. Seven Seas life for the living in city, tribe, essence, and ancestral aura of preparedness. Wellness and oneness, may you awaken with awareness. May you awaken with awareness.
Have you forgotten?
We back up. Back up in the Bills, Nils, Hills in. Salute and applause to everybody out there. Hope you're doing well. It's right. You know what I mean? And I'm True Omega Sun 88. Part of this experience called the Sunspot. Hope I'm not being too loud. But I do want to rap to you a taste. You know, first of all, I know you heard about the AMAs thing, you know. I don't know how it sits with you as far as how you feel about the situation. It's the 40th anniversary of Michael Jackson's Thriller, right? And Chris Brown has always been one of those artists that basically can maneuver in all these different circles as far as music wise, and he brings his artwork. Now when it comes to the MJ thing, right, and also Prince, right, we're talking about the top tier, creme de la creme, easily the easiest performers ever available. Okay, make sure my stream is correct. Easily. And the vibe and the artwork out, you know, amongst themselves, team, you know, we're talking about icons, right? And when we start to talk about those that followed in the footsteps of, usually the conversation would have Usher, salutes to Usher. Usually it would have, in some respects, I've heard Neo. Neo is a hella super dope writer, performer, singer. You know, me personally, I don't think that he acquired. He doesn't have the energy that I've seen in Usher. Usher is just like legendary. Started young as well. Basically, can jump in and out of different singing performances. You know, it always gives you that stellar performance. Always brings you that extra Ursha, as they say in the South, Ursha Raymond. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he has that electricity. But on that MJ level, you know, you got grown men crying over MJ, man. I don't care how hard you was in your life, you know, you settled down on something slick from MJ. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to wear the jackets. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. I know you did. You wanted to wear the jackets. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to get that off. You wanted to do the moonwalk. You know what I mean? You wanted to get all that down. And it was cool. It was cool because, you know, we know what MJ brought to the table. What Michael Jackson brought to the table was fun music, you know, some introspective music, you know, in human nature, Man in the Mirror. You know, he got a little edgy, or all really say is they don't really care about us. I think that right there was the song they didn't want to. When I say, right, when we talk about powers that be, and we're talking about, you know, people that produce these events, spending major money with tons of sponsors, giving these promotions, you know, bunches, millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, and wrapped up in this stuff. And for a long time, I wouldn't say that Chris Brown was, he was looked at as, you know, they don't want to deal with him. After, especially after what happened to, you know, that incident with Rihanna, you know, and from then he's been pegged as a womanizer, an abuser, misogynist. And it's like there's no healing for that. So my question is, you know, it's a statement I made is the dimmed celebrity, where the light shines so bright, but only up so far. You know, but when do they get a chance to redeem themselves? You know what I'm saying? In the public eye, um, some way, somehow, where do they get a chance to redeem themselves? And it's interesting. Um, I don't agree with all of, you know, I like Chris Brown when he first came in. You know what I'm saying? Run It with Jules Santana, absolutely wonderful, absolutely fantastic. It was vibrant, it was, you know, energetic. You know what I'm saying? Kept the dance floor running. We was involved in it. You know what I'm saying? And Jules Santana itself was just that amazing artist on the hip hop tip. You know what I'm saying? Bringing some love and some flavor. And that was cool. You know what I'm saying? And we got to see this young spirited Chris Brown, you know, just like I said, that ball of energy. And, you know, we're looking at the polished artistry that Usher was doing because, you know, it was that, yeah, 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 he's doing that vibe. And, you know, he had a bunch of great songs. Like, when you do like, this is why I like verses. Usher doing the verses is it can go on for a couple of hours. The catalog is long, and everybody will sing something from it. Everybody, you know, they will relate to it, and that's why he got that look. Like, you know, he could be the next Michael Jackson. Like, everybody's looking for the next one. You know what I'm saying? Prince is something different. He's a different artist, different beast altogether. You're not gonna find another Prince. Ever, 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 ever. You know, only because, you know, of course, the musicianship, his eclectic ear and behavior is dancing. You know, the guy is like 5 feet with a skin tight figure skating outfit. It can take your chick. Like, you ain't gonna find another Prince. Like, you ain't gonna have no. At one point, people were saying Miguel, all this goofiness. I didn't buy it. Mm-mm, I didn't buy it. But nonetheless, you know, there's gonna be people that want to aspire, and, you know, they want to emulate as much as possible to get to these talented, great artists, and that's cool. You know, unfortunately, with being a young person getting it, you know, getting to that money, you know, getting to such fame, fortune, recognition, and also having to be compared, you know, having the potential of being one of, you know, near the greats. You know, it could definitely warp your behavior. Yeah, definitely, you know, if you're not strong enough in the mind, you don't have a strong enough team, they'll definitely, you know, send you spiraling out. and it, I would say it got to Chris Young, man. And upon other things that was a little seedy, you still got he's coming of age. You know what I'm saying? And you would like to have um, more of a OG presence, or more sources around him to try to guide him. You know, he's still his own man at the end of the day. At the end of the day, so he got to make these choices for himself. And you're getting with a young Thundercat, beautiful young lady by the name of Rihanna, coming into her own. You know, forging her way, trailblazing it, and it turns into one of the most ugly experiences in your life. Amongst the stardom while everybody's watching. And this is not to sway on either side of what happened, because there's his side, there's her side, and there's the truth. But what panned out after it becomes much more revealing. See, when when an institution or an industry doesn't want to involve themselves with you anymore, they they, they subtly let you go. They're just there'll be phone calls for certain deals to say, we're not working with that guy anymore. We're not like working with that person anymore. That girl. No. And then the deals silently go away. And then the talks you've had start to unravel and unshape. And then now your ideas of how you can break to the quote unquote next level become more challenging. And he was on his way to next level. And if you, for me, and this, I'm gonna start to talk about the AMAs in a minute. But for me, Chris Brown, I think he separated himself from the pack with the song quality and the cadence and definitely the energy that he had. I'm saying, I wouldn't say he can take where Mike was at, but he could be a close runner up as far as get that Mike look. And the song that convinced me the most about that was a song, Fine China. Dum, 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 dum. It was a stripped down bassy song. Then it built up, and his dance moves was on fire with the video. He had his love interest in there. It's something that, it was flashback Michael, like Smooth Criminal or Billie Jean. And it's still up tempo. Can you do things for you? I just gotta know. That song right there, I was like, yo, sun is on fire. Same way I felt with Usher when he said, "You don't have to call, it's okay, girl." Like that goes back to "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." That goes back to what's the other joint? Oh man, there's so many from Michael. "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough," "Off the Wall." Like I said, Billie Jean. Even slowing it down with Butterflies, and Remember the Time. Getting everybody involved into the project, and it's having a feel good project without being you know, too harsh or too abrasive. So he made his apologies. They talked as man and woman. They were able to settle the differences. Even the community accept them back in certain respects. You know, Hey, we still have some eye raising moments and eyebrow raising moments. It's like, yo, what are you doing? But for the most part, we know who he is. And, he's coming from a good place. He just wanted to give his good music, you know, live that bachelor life, take care of his children. And, this was just a tribute to Michael Jackson. Now, what are they doing at the same time, right? It's not like they, And I say they, I mean the controllers and producers of the AMAs. And this is why it's important. This is why when we had like I was part of that. Let's get this. Like I was a part of it. Hold up. I was a part of that.
He needs some milk.
When BET was out, it was an institution that a lot of the black artists that wasn't getting the same shine they would get on the mainstream platforms can easily develop their it's like a crowdfund right there. It's for that recognition, those flowers to go out to the unsung heroes, or for the people that didn't get that look when you know damn well they deserved it. You know, and once that got traded off, it changed the it changed the look, changed the feel of the music in general, and also the way we seen our celebrities. It's like if nobody can accept them, I'm not accepting them either. And we do. We still accept some of the people that do some of the worst things. Some of the worst things, unfortunately. You know, to our can it be to our detriment? At times, yeah, and we're starting to see that. But for the most part, we in the community, at least me and myself, says this is another person that um, it's caused damage, but I didn't think it would be irreparable. I didn't think it would be irreparable. You know, you can put. There's been worse artists in every genre, every part of music. There's been some unsavory, despicable acts from some of these characters. Yet they were able to get a second chance, second win. Shoot, they was able to get multi-million-dollar deals after that. But your brother, the homie, nah, they ain't really mess with him like that. So they know that it's the 40th anniversary of Thriller anyway. Why not recast it to somebody else? Why not? Oh, two birds, one stone. Ah, two birds, one stone. That lightsaber Deutsch right through it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't honor MJ and the world-renowned song Thriller. The world-renowned. I'm talking about India. I'm talking about Greece, Italy, wherever you want to go. Everybody knows Thriller, especially around Halloween time, especially. So you don't want to honor that. Why is that? Why is that? Did the celebrity dim around MJ to the point that even with the recanting of the confessions from some of the people that were accusing, even though there was a big fiasco around that, you can't separate the man from the music at all. And then you tap the young brother and say, no, you can't resurrect this type of energy around. No. He was going to do a montage, I think, of 3 songs. I think one of them was Smooth Criminal. Another was Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And I'm not too sure on the third one. But nonetheless, I would always say he's the closest artist to, Cap to maybe it is, will he sneak in, All We Got Is Us? Would he sneak that in? They don't really care about us, pardon me. Would he sneak that in? Would he sneak in, We Are the World? Would he sneak that in? I don't know if you hear me, if you're out there, whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even looking at it, but I did put the link in the chat. If I do hear somebody click up, I'm gonna click pun it, and put you up to talk about it. But I ain't gonna be on too long. And it's interesting. Again, going back to BT and the institution, having those awards, bringing artists that didn't get the chance in the mainstream. The same thing happens in hip hop as well. Source Awards was a big thing, and unfortunately, a lot of the dysfunctional minded people are immature. I wouldn't say that, I'll say that most the immature people involved with some of these things can turn a good thing sour. And that is definitely counterproductive to what we're trying to do at all. You know what I'm saying? Which is, have fun, network, get people that, don't regularly get their flowers, and give them new incentive so people can listen to their artwork and go back and be more inspired. Like, when does the madness stop? Right? We got another one, and the most talked about people right now is between Ye and Kyrie Irving, right? Most talked about. Well, Kyrie is a particular situation. It's just, he shared a link to a documentary, right, about an ancient culture, which you can say it's a live culture now with people that still practice it. It's cool, right? And because it can threaten the movie, the documentary, not Kyrie Irving for sharing it. See, but that's the thing. If it was that powerful, right? Salute the Barn Dog. What's going on, man? If it was that, if it didn't have any credence or impact, would the same attention be paid to it? Like, come on, it's just a link to a documentary. What's that going to mean to people? So what? And this is not to put that documentary in a position where it's the be all end all, or it's the the final word of how things are operating, but it does make people think. And then after what Mr. Ye was talking about, oh, this is too much. It's too much. So he gets into the interview, after the game. I seen it on, what was it, ESPN. And usually they'll keep the conversation of the artist to the game. What could you have done better? What about that time in the third quarter? No, this wasn't it. There's a bunch of men outside. There's a bunch of the men outside, and we want to know how you feel about that. About the who? I'm sorry, because I'm thinking about my game and what I need to do and how I'm going to work with Kevin and Ben. What are you talking about? Yeah, there's a bunch of guys outside the arena, and some of them are spewing out. And salute to those guys, because it's a protest, and this is what the country is founded on. It is the most American thing you could do is protest a wrong being done, and the wrong being done is to try to pigeonhole or guilt this man into a corner. Okay, if he didn't say anything offensive to anybody or any group, he didn't do that. He didn't place his agenda on the table about and influence people to get into that agenda. He didn't do that. No. He shared a clip of a documentary he thought was interesting. That brought points. And even if it's scholastic or not, when you are interested in a topic, no, granted, it doesn't offend anybody, you share it with people. Is it because the network of people that he's sharing with is, in the millions? Hmm. If the information inside of what he shared is that damaging, shouldn't there be a debate about it? Draw out all of its negative aspects and correct the wrongs that's been placed intelligently and respectfully to all parties. Or do you just want to check a man? Check a man. Say, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. That's not you, basketball player. You dribble the ball and shoot. But that wasn't the conversation at the table on the ESPN. That wasn't the conversation. What about the men outside? They feel that, you did something right. He's oblivious to it. You know what? I'm here to talk about the game. I love it. I love it. I'm here to talk about the game. Let's go. Where my man's at? Well, hold on. I can't. Gotta give him this one.
It's yo.
Stick to the game. This is what we're here for, right? Nonetheless, when there's a entity, I won't say entity, there's a person that's a celebrity that threatens any of the power status, the call is sent to dim the celebrity. And that actually makes the argument grow. It actually does. Because now you don't want to have the conversation, right? So people are going to be more inquisitive about, what really went wrong here? And the narrative start to spin, and the media slides and slips, and then it turns into, can the Mandela effect actually work? Could they forget? Because we do. Right now, we're in a state of episodic thinking. You're thinking in episodes. Yeah. 1 minute clips, 15-minute clips, 5-minute videos, sound bites. Oh, look there. This one said this. Oh. And you draw up as much information from those clips. Boom. Now you got a whole new religion. Yeah, you got a commercial religion. It's not like you went into the actual books and did the necessary research. And even then, you have to be able to challenge yourself to get over the ideological fallacies, the confirmation bias. You got to be able to be completely objective in the thought as you go into your research. Draw about new constructive questions. If that's not being done, you're not doing the work. That's with all of us. And there's a thing called material fact that everybody wants to run from. Material fact. Material fact. Like if it's made of wood, chances are it came from a tree. Right. The only edible egg is not from a chicken. You can get it from other places. But 2 and 2 is 4, but so is 1 and 3. to lose that type of um, to lose that type of thought pattern, energy level, is just to be a fanatic. And when a country is run by fanatics, nothing really gets done. And you'll have tyranny. You have tyranny. What it say? What's the saying goes? Power tends to corrupt. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So with that tyranny, you're running the fanatics around. They don't want to really go in and do the real deep, hand cutting work because they rely on the leader of the fan base to tell them what to do. And if the leader of the fan base is just an armchair quarterback, somebody that just sits on the side and talks, like, my talking head right now, and doesn't himself go out, do hand cutting work, which I do, and I got a couple of spots I need a band-aid for. it, it turns into this social church of madness. So when you speak out against the social church of madness, your celebrity gets dimmed from the powers that want to keep control. Listen, we're making billions of dollars off of people's ignorance. Why would you let you, with the audacity to wake these people? How my man say, the unmitigated gall. And then you set the little players in between to be the buffers. The buffers are between some complete thought and the fanaticism. So they always at war. The objective thought versus the subjective thought. The red and the blue, the Pepsi and the Coca-Cola. All the time. All the time. It never fails. Well, it hasn't for a long time. I believe it will fall. I think many people do now. This is a time of revelation for a lot of things, especially when it comes to the powers that be. All I implore is, just keep up the good fight. The good fight is to make a product or service, a performance that brings everybody together. Running back, coming back, circling around to what Chris Brown is going through. He's going to have to, it's going to sit on his soul of the things that he's done wrong. Can he be redeemed? Can he redeem himself? It takes work, and it takes maturity, and he has to square up with that. But should he always be nailed, hands nailed to the cross? Ain't that, for that incident that them two as adults have went by? When is enough? When does he get the good graces back? Oh, is he one of those pieces that's part of the buffer, between power and awakening? Interesting. A lot of people talk about how their business in the music has been affected by people that don't really necessarily do music, but they all in the business. People are tired of that now. People are tired of that. And they want to see their artists grow. I mean, it's another thing as, in America, it's the root for the underdog. That's as American as apple pie, right? Root for the underdog. Same thing applies here. Same thing. And we have to be willing to look at all sides, as far as award shows, I think they're hyped up. They're usually only serving the purpose to get people to consume a good marketplace. You know, a lot of this stuff is voted by groups. You know, and sometimes you'll get an artist that definitely deserves it. But chances are, if you're not one of those mainstream artists on the page, like, oh yeah, they've been doing this type of work all the time. Okay, yeah, all right. Meanwhile, they got stream farms. Mm. Meaning got heavy backing to promote the work. Mm. They fit an agenda. They definitely go against the artists that we don't like. Yeah, we want to boost them up. That's our guy. That's our gal. Listen, I'm not the author of all this. I'm just an observer. Just an observer. I'm in the cheap seats like you guys. You know. And I mean that. Like, listen, unless you're making some heavy $500,000, you're basically cheap sheets. I've looked at this. It's one thing I'm gonna close out soon, like really soon. Yeah. Where's my sound? I know I'm bugging. Just got back. I just got back. Okay. There's this channel called Think Media. Dope channel if you can get a look at it. Very good exposés. Very good tips for your YouTube or whatever. Like you say, you do photography or do a lot of audio work. These guys are phenomenal. But they introduced one of the greatest, if not, he's the top tier right now, YouTuber by the name of Mr. Beast. And they were talking about some of the deals that he had on the table. And we're talking the amount of money that goes into the Super Bowl commercials. He can make 10 times as much on a live stream. So when they scaled his evaluation, and I don't pocket watch and nothing like that, much success to him. You know what I'm saying? He's doing something right? Right? He's getting the push that, right? Yeah, that's okay. But he was able to evaluate. Look, I'm getting chills. He was able to evaluate the time that it took for him to get what he has now in subscribership and sponsors, and evaluate it for the next few years. You're talking about the potential to make $10 to $20 billion. Billion with a B. Yeah. Especially if you use to repackage it into other up and coming and gain a high percentage of. Listen, what I'm saying is, when it's time to brighten that celebrity, there are channels there. There are resources there. There are people that are put into work to make sure that this thing happens. Sometimes a person is just one deal away from breaking into that next level. One deal away, one good phone conversation away. So we have to take everything into consideration. Who's in power to make that deal happen? Can they do it on their own steam? You know what I'm saying? Know how. They dotted the I's and crossed the T's. When it does go well, how would the payout be? Is that when you get gypped in the back end? When I say gypped, oh my God, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know.
He needs some milk.
Old school stuff. We get cheated in the back end. See how old habits are hard to break, after a long time. Will you be able to reconsider your contract after a while? You say you made more than what you projected. Will they come back to the table? That's all positive stuff. That's what they call good problems, right? What about the problems of being chained to your deal for so much work that you get overworked? Mm. What about not being in creative control of your intellectual property? Big one right there. That if you're a creative, that really like it's a punch to the gut and a kick to the you know what's. Having to dance, smile, and and do a hugging campaign with interests that you don't necessarily line up with. That's another huge one too. That's another. You don't like this. Like, come on, you're against coal. Let's say coal, because everybody has a thing about coal. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. You know, it's a fuel source. We got to use it. Use it for barbecues, stuff like that. But say you're an environmentalist and you say that coal is just wicked, and they say here it's a check from Mr. Coley Cole from Coley Cole Franchises. Why don't you do a small commercial about the coal? This is going to brighten your celebrity, but it'll dim your integrity. A lot of things the way, especially in a young mind. So, artists like Chris Brown, Rihanna, Ice Spice, who else? Baby, Lil Baby, Drake. They're still young, relatively young, you know. Be, because you're still sculpting into that next level, millions to billions, right? Still sculpting yourself, your character to get your, everything lined up, all your ducks in a row. You still want that next level because you aspire to that, especially after seeing what you've done so far. Yes, stay the course, stay strong, strong-willed, have a strong conviction, have an excellent work ethic. The work ethic will get you pretty far. The work ethic will do it. But when you get to that point, you know what I'm saying, what I just spoke about, where they say, oh, you don't want to work like this? We're going to dim your celebrity? Hey, like the Kendrick song says, when hit the fan, when you still a fan? When hit the fan, are you still a fan? Will you still keep your morals and integrity intact? You know what I mean? Would you shun all the good work as far as your creativity, your personal work, and just say, here, take it, it's yours? Do you feel you have an endless fountain to that? It's a conversation. Think about it. That's all I'm saying. I've done enough. I wish you and yours well for the family harvest days. Family harvest days. That's right. We got to harvest our family. We don't get to see them much. You don't get to speak to them much. This is the time of the year where you slow down. You harvest. You take some time that you got the time off, because everybody got time off on certain days, and that's just the reality of it so far for now. For most of us, some of us still got to work, essential workers and all that. Salute to you guys. Salute to the shift workers, essential workers, people that are 9 to 5, 24/7 at their contribution to keep things in balance. Thank you very much. Armed services, thank you very much. Take time, harvest the family, talk to your old aunties, uncles, grandmas, mothers. Try to repair some relationships. If you can't repair relationships, try to be as mature as possible in the encounters, where you become a lighthouse amongst those stormy days or them stormy mentalities. Be that lighthouse. Smile, cause you're alive, and you're about to eat some good turkey and macaroni and cheese and all that. Or drink a green smoothie. Do what you do. But this is the time for harvest and plant new seeds. And I don't mean like, yo, chill, okay? No, don't go too far. Plant new seeds of reality that will make the next few years that much more brighter and beneficial to your family. I am True Omega's son. I've got to go, but I'm glad you came with me. You're here for the flow. Let's do this one time, and we out, ski. What they say? What happened to peace? Peace, 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 peace.